Is Drake grooming teenage girls? Based off of what we know about grooming, let's take a look at Drake's patterns of behavior, shall we?
Conversation started when footage from a 2010 Drake concert began circulating the internet. Footage where a 23-year-old Drake invites a girl from the crowd on stage, dances with her, smells her hair, massages her shoulders, puts his arms around her, and then starts to kiss her neck. He then says that he's going to get carried away before asking how old she is. Drake walks away while making a joke about going to jail.
Now, real quick, take a look at this girl. This is the key point that everybody needs to understand about this entire topic, at least when you're talking about like 17-year-olds. A 17-year-old girl, most of the time, you can't really tell the difference between 17 and 19. Hook up with a 19-year-old, that's kind of weird if you're like 30. Really weird if you're like 38, 40, whatever. That's really weird. And for the exact same reason that it is illegal for you to hook up with a 16-year-old. Even if a 16-year-old looks 21, it's not about how they look, because if you look at this girl, obviously this looks like a college student or whatever. That's why it has nothing to do with why you don't do it. You don't do it because they have the brain of a child. It's not about like, is it wrong for me to be sexually aroused by this girl? That has nothing to do with it, because one 17-year-old girl looks like this, another 17-year-old girl looks like that. One of them looks 14, one of them looks 23. It's okay for you to hook up with the 23-year-old looking one, even though she's 17. It's not okay because it's a kid.
Drake walks away while making a joke about going to jail before turning back to her and saying, 17? Why do you look like that? You thick. Look at all of this. He continues saying, I don't know if I should feel guilty or not, but I had fun. I like the way your feel against my chest.
Yikes. Beware of the nice guy, especially when it comes to girls, dude. If it's a guy who closes lots of girls and he's so nice, such a nice guy, you beware of that guy.
Question. Have you ever heard of a grown man being a huge fan of girls' high school basketball?
A producer named Lil Cece talking about how she ended up connected to Drake. And there's one part of this story that is, I would love to hear somebody in the comments explain what she says here shortly. And believe me, I will point it out when it comes.
So he really was a fan of supported one of my teammates at the time. And
this is when you were in high school?
Yeah,
okay.
High school. So he was a fan of women's basketball, high school basketball.
I'm sorry, go over that one more time. Drake, one of the biggest recording artists in the world, is a big fan of girls' high school basketball.
I was her teammate, so he followed me because of her. And I was like, oh shit, bitch, you got Drake to follow me? What the hell? That's so crazy. So he followed me, and I lost it. I have to meet Drake.
What do you think it was about her that made him follow her? Let's just take a look at Lil Cece. Oh gosh, I don't know what it is about her, but a little bit more interesting than the other hoopers. Listen, don't get me wrong. All I care about is the basketball. I'm here as a fan of sports. I'm following her because I think she's really good at basketball.
Ever heard of a girl named Hailey Bieber? Sounds familiar, right? Well, guess who's very good friends with her since she was about 14.
1 year later, in May of 2016, 29-year-old Drake was spotted eating dinner with 18-year-old Hailey Bieber in West Hollywood. Due to their allegedly flirty interaction and Drake wearing a matching H necklace, rumors of them dating began circulating, with entertainment and
matching H necklace. I want to keep coming back to beware of the nice guy.
Night even alleging that the two hooked up at Drake's Memorial Day party. However, during this time, Hailey did an interview with E! News, revealing that she'd known Drake for around 4 years at this point, meaning that
what's that math come out to? See if you guys can figure it out before it says it in the video. 14 years old.
a 25-year-old Drake first met Hailey when she was just 14. A big part of the conversation here is, why does Drake routinely find himself around 14 to 17-year-old girls? What does a 25-year-old man have in common with a 14-year-old?
I can answer that. Absolutely nothing, unless he is grooming her so that way when she is of legal age, he can have his way with her.
And wouldn't it feel weird to date someone you've always known to be a child right after they legally become an adult?
Not if you're grooming them.
So what is a groomer? How do we identify one? Well, take a look at what Jesse on Fire has to say.
Someone who has done the same thing over and over and over and over and over. That's a groomer. That's a planned thing that they do over and over and over. This is what you're looking at here. This is an actual groomer, okay? What real grooming looks like.
So what is a groomer? How do we identify one? Well, take a look at what we have not even scratched the surface yet. Listen to these lyrics in one of Drake's songs.
Drake would release a song titled Jaded, featuring the line, "We coulda waited, I wasn't Russian, differences in ages, you're old enough, but you're still a baby." And 2 months later in September, 14-year-old Millie Bobby Brown would attend the Emmys and
This is 11, by the way, from Stranger Things. 11, you know, a child in Stranger Things, the magic one. This is who in this next story. This is the straight up groomer stuff.
mentioned in a red carpet interview that her and 32-year-old Drake text after meeting each other in Australia after he invited her to his concert, and that their conversations mostly consist of Drake giving her boy advice and saying how much they miss each other.
We just texted each other the other day and he was like, "I miss you so much." I was like, "I miss you more."
This was the first time Drake's pattern of being around underage girls really began circulating online, with many people speculating what someone with an 18-year age gap can really have in common.
I'm 34 years old.
Yeah.
If I did to you, I was texting a 14-year-old girl saying, "I miss you so much," and she was replying to me, "I miss you more." Would you not think, hold on here a second, that's weird?
Yeah. So the reason I bring that up is because if I ever saw an adult in my 14-year-old daughter's text messages saying things like, "I miss you," or giving her advice about boys, or basically anything along the lines that we are describing in Drake and her, I think the she would get from her phone would be like, "Hey, Drake, this is her dad. My suggestion to you would be do better research on the parental situation with the girls that you try to groom, because I don't care if you have $100,000 a day security, I'll fucking get to you if you ever talk to her again."
Millie would take to Instagram and defend Drake, saying, "Why you gotta make a lovely friendship your headline? You guys are weird, for real. I'm lucky to have people in the business extend their time to help me further my career and offer their wisdom and guidance. I'm very blessed to have amazing people in my life. You don't get to choose that for me. It's nice to have people understand what I do. Now get back to talking about real problems in this world other than my friendships."
Yeah, because the thing is, as far as she is concerned, it is just a friendship, right? Because she's 14. She's a kid. She doesn't understand. Like, this is not normal, girl. He brought her to an Oscar show as his date. And everybody said they were just in the corner hugging and laughing the whole time. They just had such an incredible time together. Let me show you that, actually, because I'm sure you don't believe it because it sounds so insane. Try this on for size and see if this sounds appropriate to you guys.
2 months later, during a Golden Globes after party, Drake and Millie posed for photos. Millie captioned a post with Drake, "Blessed to have my security be my +1 at the Netflix party." This is them at the party together. According to reports, Drake, 31, and Millie, 13, spent the entire night together at the party. Okay. An eyewitness spotted the Canadian rapper and the British actress hanging out and said the duo were inseparable all night.
At a Golden Globes after party. Okay, think of who is there. Think about who's at this party. And this creep is like, you know what? I think what I would like to do is hang out with the child this whole time. Because I'm such a nice guy. I'm just a nice guy, you guys. I'm just a nice guy.
And that they were clearly buddies. Despite the odd pairing, the insider told E! News that the two had a lengthy, in-depth conversation by themselves. And many times throughout the night, it was just the two of them talking in a corner. At the SAG Awards the same month, Millie was asked about her new friendship with Drake. In the interview, she says, "Drake is my man," and shares how exciting it was to meet him. Drake also wishes her a happy 14th birthday. So this is her, and in quote, this is what she says: "Drake's my man. I love Drake. He's amazing." Drake then posts this on his story: "Happy birthday, Mills. Big love, 4L." Millie posted a photo wearing Scorpion merch that Drake sent her a few months later. The caption says, "Thank you, Champagne Poppy, for this sick jacket. Tour starts in June and I'm so excited to catch a show. Love you," with the Scorpion merch on. So Drake is obviously inviting her to a show because they're good friends when she's 13.
Yeah. So you tell me, is that grooming? I want to know what you think. Should a 30-something-year-old be texting a 14-year-old, 13-year-old, taking them to the award shows? Let's continue, shall we?
3 months later, on July 22nd, an article titled, "What Would You Do If Your Teenager Became an Overnight Instagram Sensation?" was released by The Guardian, detailing a story about 16-year-old Charlie D'Alessio going viral on Instagram after being tagged in pictures at Coachella. The article describes the photos as Charlotte wearing bodysuits, bikini tops, and jean shorts. Her mother, Christina Ford, recounts the moment she realized how popular the photos were making her daughter, saying they were in the back of the car chatting away and checking in on social to say they were in Toronto, just like normal teenagers. And then suddenly Madison was like, "Oh god, it's Drake FaceTiming us. Should I answer?" As Ford drove on, listening to her daughter and her friend chatting away in the back seat with one of the biggest hip-hop stars on the planet, she felt the world as she knew it shifting under the wheels of her car. I thought, okay, she's with Drake. I guess this is for real.
Drake, 31 at the time, FaceTiming Charlotte and Madison Beer, who were both
We talked about this, but
18. They were in the back of the car chatting away and checking in on social to say they were in Toronto, just like normal teenagers. And then suddenly Madison was like, "Oh god, it's Drake FaceTime."
oh, I'm sorry. I met the first time. They were in Toronto. So they're teenagers. They're in Toronto, and Drake's all, "Oh shit." Let's let her finish.
Now, should I answer? I thought, okay, she's with Drake. I guess this is for real.
Hey, awesome mom, dude. Fucking awesome mom. Not.
This is what the mom said in an interview.
Yet another example of predators contacting kids through social media, not even needing their cell phone number.
Next, 18-year-old Bella Harris shares a photo with 31-year-old Drake when she was backstage at his concert. In the caption, she put, "No place I'd rather be." And this is her and Drake hugged up. Okay? Drake shut down a restaurant for a private dinner with her. He met her in 2016 when she was 16 years old. This is her in May of 2016. The caption says, "Too good," with a heart.
Pattern of behavior.
This is a 16-year-old girl posed with this grown-ass man.
How does he end up in the room with all of these 16-year-olds? Like, this is the thing, dude. I cannot stress this part enough. When you are a superstar celebrity, you have near total control of who is in pictures with you on Instagram or who you're around. You could do whatever you want if you're Drake. You end up in a bunch of pictures with teenagers, that's on purpose.
And he starts to be a bit more touchy.
Oops.
And take public pictures with her when she's a little older. This is 2 years later. She also wished Drake a happy 30th birthday, and
Happy birthday, old man.
he commented on the post when she was 16. This is her in 2016 saying, "Happy birthday, old man. At Champagne Poppy. Cheers to more life." She has on the OBO merch. Poppy in the comments, the heart eye emoji.
OG on a 16-year-old.
Even this comment under a 16-year-old's picture.
Oh, you thought we were done? No, there's more. Stay tuned here because check out the next one.
Next, we have an artist named Sydney Christine, and she reveals some very interesting information. At the time of this interview, she's 22 years old.
First person and really the only artist I reached out to was Drake. I never met him, never saw him. I don't know why he's been following me for the past 6 years.
Oh, gee, I wonder. Hi.
I don't know why, but let me just reach out, send him the beats. And then he was for it. He was like, "All right, dope, send me some." Nothing happened.
Dude, this is the simplest equation of all time, okay? The reason why Drake follows these young teenage girls is very simple, okay? If you're on Instagram and someone that you follow DMs you, it hits your primary, so you see it, okay? If you're Drake, you can't deal with all the requests, but if you want to make sure that you see a DM from a girl that you want to smash, you follow them, and they'll see that you follow him, or that he follows you, and then they might DM you. And if they DM you, then it's on, because it's gonna hit your primary. That's how you have your primary set up. You only follow people you wanna get DMs from, right? And as soon as a lot of girls see that Drake follows them, they're going to DM him, conversation open, and he gets to eventually smash. Okay, so when following all these 15-year-old girls, there's no mystery what he's doing here. What I also learned after I show you all this stuff that he absolutely does groom and creep on teenage girls, that girls have hooked up with Drake in the past. They tell stories about non-disclosure agreements, security. They take her there, they take her phone, they have her sign a non-disclosure agreement, and then she goes in and hangs out with Drake, whatever.
Parents, what are we doing here? We are not protecting our daughters from predators. Do you know what this reminds me of? Elvis Presley. Yep, Elvis, who was infatuated with 14-year-olds. These are kids. They have the mind of children. They do not have the mental capacity to understand what is happening to them. You, dear parent, need to do a better job at protecting your kids by talking with them about what is going on and the perils that they face. If you want to be able to identify grooming behaviors and patterns, check out my website for a free download to do just that.